Steve. I'm Alex.
I'm Alara.
And today we are talking about the dark moon, black moon,
The
which
black
is
moon.
coming up
On the 31st.
Wednesday.
On this side of the world.
Yes, because in other ones it's gonna hit in August, so it's technically not a black moon. But yeah, because I was reading about that, so I was like, oh.
But yeah, for us here in the United States, this is going to be a black moon for us because we're on this side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So for y'all out there that do not know what a black moon is, a black moon is when you get a second new moon in a month. So you not only get, like normally you only get one new moon in a month.
Based on your cycles.
Based on your cycles. And a black moon is when you actually get two new moons in 1 month, and it's the second new moon.
Kind of like the opposite of a blue moon. Blue moon is 2 full moons in a month. So, fun fact, I was learning this as I was reading about black moons, new moons, and all that stuff. So, because in a lot of my articles, they were saying that 2 dark moons is a black moon, not 2 new moons. And I was like, what's the difference? So I was reading, and when you're looking at, and I want to insert one around here somewhere, at a basic moon chart, it's just one step for every 12, I think, or 8. It's like a very small, basic graph. It doesn't account for every single sliver of the moon that disappears or reappears as the days and hours tick by, though. It's not just boom, boom, boom. Like, it doesn't transition that quickly. It's a lot slower, more gradually. That's why it's a full month to do so. So the dark moon is technically the darkest part of the new moon.
Oh.
Because the new moon is technically when there is a sliver of slivers of the moon showing. But a dark moon is technically when it's like the deepest part of the night before the sliver happens.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, fun fact, in case anyone was reading online about new moons and dark moons, and you're like, the frick is this? And I'm like, oh, well, I'll explain it.
Right. So one of the reasons why I'm really geared up for the black moon is the fact that this is going to be like prime time for me to work with my deity, with my lady. And actually, it is kind of important to note that for most new moons, that the new moon is really closely associated with the dark goddesses.
Yeah, darker deities. Same with mine. Mine likes new moons. Mine specifically likes dark moons too. But because I do Hecate stuff, and when you went to like leave offerings at the crossroads, you were supposed to like scurry out at the darkest point of the new moon. Mm-hmm. Not just any time during the new moon. It was supposed to be specifically kind of like that 12 midnight to 4 a.m.
So technically the dark moon.
Mm-hmm. Dark moon is specifically more her sign than just new moon in general.
Oh.
So if anyone's looking at darker deities, you're probably going to be working with new moon versus like full moon stuff. That's just kind of how it rolls.
I wouldn't say necessarily that. It's like for me with my lady. Mm-hmm. My lady is a dark dark goddess. But honestly, I work with her during a lot of different moon phases. Mm-hmm. She especially likes new moons and
where I was going
moons.
At with that. Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of like right now her energy is just like bam, and I'm actually really loving it. So because this is kind of a prime time for her, and her energy is really like full on into this black moon. For me, and maybe with some of y'all, this would be a really good time to do specific offerings or to create specific spells or oils or incense specifically intentioned or energied for your dark deity.
Mm-hmm. Not to say that you can't do it for other deities, obviously. I'm just, if your deity happens to like full moons, probably not the best time to do that right now.
Yeah.
As far as anything else, like, we don't have a deity. Treat black moon's kind of like a really potent new moon. So whatever you would do on a new moon. So
it amplifies that energy.
Yeah, I've seen people, it's kind of the same, but different, because I've seen people where it's, because I know people that are like very new moon is to repel, full moon is to bring in.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also reading that new moon is good for new beginnings.
That's a lot of what I do. For me, for new moons, when I'm not doing something specifically for my lady, for me, new moons are really good for me, it's fantastic for shadow work. But I also like the new moon for releasing and for new intentions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's new, do new intentions, and then you build and build and build, and then at the full moon, you kind of rededicate almost, or re-look at things, kind of reestablish, and kind of see how all of that building has actually been playing out. And then the rest of it going back in through the waning cycles is kind of releasing, or releasing whatever needs to be released, or finish establishing and kind of work into your contemplation time before you set the new one at the new moon.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of getting with the whole like new beginnings and getting rid of stuff, because I was all like together at the same time. Like if you're looking to like break a habit or get something out of you, you're getting rid of something bad to start something good.
Yeah.
So you kind of look at it that way too. So it's kind of opposite, yet they go together. I like what you mentioned, and I was gonna also bring that up, was that new moons, especially this kind of moon, would be good for if any of y'all have altars or tools that you consecrate. Just new moon is supposed to be one of the better times to do all that kind of stuff. So if y'all have an altar, or if y'all practice anything kind of more, I know a lot of pagans do it, but specifically if you're any kind of Wiccan or any kind of faith that has a lot more tools like wands, aphames, chalices, stuff like that, that night would be a really good night to kind of do what it is you need to do.
Yeah, to reset things, or to reestablish certain things sometimes. I know for me, new moons, that's the time of the month where I specifically do something directly for my deity. Like that is like her main time of the month where I do something specifically for her, or whether it's like ritual or communing or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I had to pick a time, that'd probably be like a really good, outside of wheel of the year, new moons are probably the time when veils are thinnest.
Yes.
So if anyone's trying to, if your deity is something, veil kind of thing, or if you're looking to commune, new moons would be a good time to do it outside of like specific times of year, like Samhain and stuff. Would be if you're trying to do something or build up to it, that'd be a pretty good idea to start doing.
Which actually, I found new moons to be really good for ancestor stuff.
Like I said, veils, depending if you have deity or spiritual. Yeah, I haven't, like I said.
Which is a good point. You don't have to wait until the dying seasons or the dying months, where the waning months, like in Samhain leading into Yule, to do stuff like with the veil, or with your ancestors, or shadow work, or reflecting, or things like that. You can do all of this at the new moon, because I kind of feel the same way, where I feel like the new moon is during each specific time of month, that's where the veil is thinnest. So I would agree with you there. No, that's pretty much it. I want to say black moons are really rare. They only come around, if you're lucky, like a couple of times a year.
If that, because I know you'd been having a lot of blue moons in the last couple of years, and I think they said those were gonna not be around for like a year or so, or more, or for like a while.
So sometimes you need to kind of check your planetary calendars, or just kind of check in every once in a while, because she is right. Sometimes we'll have a period where we might have a couple a year, and then we may shift to where you won't have another black moon for another, the better part of a year, or a year or two. So things planetarily can shift about a little bit. So just kind of every once in a while poke in and see what is coming up, so that you can kind of stay tuned in. Like I found out about the black moon, I want to say 4 or 5 months ago, And so I've been kind of like slowly like planning, because I like as soon as I found that out, I was like, okay, that's something that I'm specifically like, it's going to be a big thing. I'm going to go out of my way. I'm going to do extra stuff working with my lady. Like, I'm going to prepare something for her. And you know, you know about this. She went with me to gather supplies and things like that. And I've basically been percolating a offering oil over from the new moon, the first new moon, to the 31st, which is going to be the actual black moon. And the black moon is when I'm going to actually finish everything up and present it. So, like, sometimes with the black moon, if you want to do certain things or kind of go above and beyond, it's going to take some planning, it's going to take some extra time, and you may need that entire month. Because if you're going to work with the black moon, I always suggest that you work not only with the second new moon, which is actually the black moon, but work with the first new moon too, so you can have that double pack. Or you can use that to set kind of your, what's my word?
Your intentions.
Yeah, kind of to set that entire period as the, you know.
As you're working, because especially if you're trying to do something like an oil or something that takes time, you definitely want at least those 30 days or so. It's not quite 30, it's like 28 or whatever. But you know, you want time to be able to do stuff, and especially if y'all do any kind of higher rituals or anything, a lot of those take time. You don't want to rush any of that stuff.
They take time, or they take planning, or you have to do it at certain specific times or certain specific days. You know, sometimes you have to like make some minor stuff, and sometimes that means that your rituals or whatever are going to take more than just the actual night of the black moon. Sometimes it will require you to do things leading up to the black moon, or incorporating both of those new moons as an entire period, which is what I'm doing.
Yep.
Because I pretty much consider this entire month to be my lady's month, because, you know, my deity's month, because of both the new moons. So everything that falls in between the new moons, they are hers. Have fun, my lady.
Now, I did want to mention this just because this always threw me off in lore too, just a little bit. Was that we're gonna talk about werewolves for just a second. A lot of times they'd be like, oh, the night of the full moon, they'd like whatever, but in other legends it'd be the 3 nights, because the full moon, as it fills, stays, and then wanes, is supposed to be a 3-night event. So when I was looking at the calendar for new moons, technically, since the new moon is like the crest of the 31st, it's like really late, kind of like almost midnight into the 1st. The 1st of August is also technically a new moon. So technically, according to, like, if you look at a calendar, there would be 2 little black spots in August too.
Yeah.
Which I saw on one of my calendars and I was like, what?
Actually, this is a good time to mention the things that you had saved on your phone.
Which one?
The photo.
Oh!
Come on now. Work with me.
Sorry.
This isn't just the Alara show.
Hey! Bully. We will insert that because I've tried to show things on my phone and it glows too hard. But
this is something that one of our local metaphysical stores had posted, and we were kind of reading through, and it's like, actually, this is some really good information for us and for y'all to just kind of to know
what's going on.
Because there's a lot of stuff that is going on specifically around this time with this black moon.
And then past this, we're probably going to start mentioning things that we will mention, like when there's events like astrologically happening. I was actually going to mention, I think it was last night, unfortunately, on Sunday night instead of tonight, but there was a meteor shower. And then we are still in the Perseid meteor shower. It happens every end of July to mid-August. So if any of y'all live anywhere that's dark enough to see meteors, definitely try to check them out.
Unfortunately, with us being so near a big city.
I've seen them at Jose's place.
Really?
It gets just dark enough. If you're out at like 3 in the morning, you'll see them.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So if you're not somewhere super dark, you might be able to wing it between 2 to 4 a.m., which is hard doing, I know, but if you really want to see some. Anyway, so black moon, obviously happening. It's the end of the summer eclipses, so We didn't really. I don't think we got any in America this year, if I have to recall.
Eclipses?
Yeah, I know South America got one, I think, and I think Russia, Europe got a couple, but I don't think we had any this year because I know we had some last year.
We did have some last year.
And I was in Vegas at the time and it rained.
Oh.
I was so mad. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Which you never get rain in Vegas.
I know.
It just wasn't meant to be.
I was like, "Y'all stink," and a lot of people had taken their kids out for school and nothing. Anyway, so end of the eclipses. It's also another end of another retrograde Mercury that we had.
Yeah. So
they come and go. People are like, "Oh, it's over." They come back.
Oh yeah, Mercury retrograde happens like 4 times a year.
So yeah, so this one's the end of the one we just went through, it started on July 7th. So that ends on the 30th.
Which, honestly, most of the time, Mercury retrograde doesn't really hit me all that hard. Like, it only hits me hard in certain points.
Mm-hmm.
Not every single time, but at certain, like, out of the 4 that happen a year, like, maybe 1 or sometimes 2 will hit me particularly hard.
Yeah. But anyway, y'all can stop making your excuses. There ain't no more Mercury going on right now.
Oh, since it just ended?
Yeah, so you guys gotta find new excuses to why you crazy. The next one I thought was kind of cool is the new moon is in conjunction with Venus, I guess, planetarily. I don't really know how all that works, honestly.
So this particular new moon, this black moon, will be particularly healing because of that correlation with Venus.
Mm-hmm.
So something for y'all to kind of think about if you're interested in doing a little something for the black moon is this one will be a particularly healing one because of Venus.
Mm-hmm. So if y'all looking to do healing work or... Yeah, because it definitely said it was more the healing aspect of Venus and the romantical side, but
yeah.
I mean, it is still Venus, and I'm pretty sure if you were really trying to do something romantical, you could still get away with it.
Yeah, which actually that's going to work really well for me to do some stuff with my my self-love.
Oh.
My self-love bowl. Just to add a little of that Venus energy to it.
And then the last thing is that it is a holiday coming up. It is Lunasa/Lamas, depending on what you celebrate, where you celebrate, how you work it, because we have another video talking about it, but one is more specific to deity and Celt and Anglo-Saxon, and the other one is a little more not specific, and it is actually it is the holiday that the church kind of absorbed from pagan rites into like their own church stuff. So they are the same, but they are different. But we'll talk about that in another video. That about wrapped it up?
I think that's pretty much it. So again, we'll try and link or put a photo up of the little list that she came. Bless you. That she just went through talking about some of the special things that are happening, particularly with this time period with this black moon.
Yeah, and we should actually put something about that on our Instagram, so y'all can check that out too. It'll be linked down below. Alright. Well,
You heard it here, folks.
We'll leave y'all alone now.
Alright. Thanks for listening in. Y'all have a good night and enjoy the black moon. Many blessings.
Toodaloo.